today. We like to give my thanks on behalf of Tulsi Trust and on behalf of Graceful Living. As you all know, Graceful Living is one of Tulsi Trust's new initiatives. Well, it's about 2.5-3 years old, in which we are looking after the elderly and the aged and senior citizens. Mr. Gursani is always in the forefront of this, and I thank him very much for all the help he's given. And I'd like to thank all of you for participating. And I hope this is a interesting session and that it goes off well. All questions will be answered during the course of the session. And I hope to look forward to many more of you and many more sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over to you, Manoj.
Yeah, thank you, Naval, as always. And I always keep telling our folks that we have been conducting this panel from the time COVID started.
Correct.
And continuing. And I think it was the most useful Zoom webinar we used to have, and people have really appreciated it.
Yes.
That it has helped them, especially when the elder senior citizens could not move out. And the more and more I'm thinking about it, and this actually, Naval, and thanks to again Tulsi Trust, Naval, you, Prakash Mirchandani, Jagdish Chenraiji, all the others, gave at least me an insight into the real world of what happens.
Yes.
Not only for senior citizens, but for the caregivers also. Because that was a real awakening for me, that we never thought about the caregivers. We're all thinking about, and the role caregivers. So I'm glad that a panel like us gets both sides of caregivers, and we get the senior citizen attending. And we have participated with so many associations, organizations. It literally and right from talking about how to protect your interest to physical thing, to physical therapy, to medical, clinical. I think Amruta, the team, Srinivas, all of them have really have captured the essence of, and it's every Saturday, I believe, and I know that every month at this time, we have always curated some other event. And there are some who come online, some on Zoom, some who come on Facebook streaming and etc. So it's being very informative. And today also, Amrita, the subject is, what do seniors want? It's actually such a simple question. That do we actually know? Do we actually know what seniors want? And I thought we would start it because Naval has already mentioned about the panelists. The first one is Mr. Dikolkar. He has been the president of FESCOM for the past 4 years, retired as an assistant general manager of RBI, and then worked for a few years with the late Narendra Dabolkar. So to use, the question would be, what is the status of senior citizen in India? I know it is a very broad question, but if you could, and again, the role, how we play in the panel is, we keep rotating between three of you all. We will take questions from the panelists, question from the attendees, and we would restrict you all to say it in 3-4 minutes so that we keep moving around and others also get an opportunity to share. So over to you, Mr. Dikolkar.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
You want me to speak? I'm Disolkar.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, for you.
Yeah. See, present because of the modern technology, the lifespan of senior citizens is increasing, and the number of senior citizens is increasing like anything. In Mumbai itself, there are 15 lakh senior citizens, but only 9% senior citizens get pension. Rest 20-25% people, they manage with their savings, but the rest of the 70% of the senior citizens, they are living because they are not dying. It's their life is very miserable. So government is not doing it. It's the most neglected sector of society, I would say. And government should help them to come out of this situation.
So how do you propose? Any son's thoughts on that?
See,
So
senior,
go
the
ahead.
senior citizens below poverty line, they get some pension from government. It's 200 rupees from central government, and state governments they add and they give. Our Maharashtra government they pay 800, and they in all they totally they pay 1,000 rupees, which is a very meager amount. And for that they have put a financial condition that the annual income of the family should not exceed 21,000.
Oh.
It's really
Ridiculous.
miserable, I would say. 21,000, what norms they are using? A person, I would say a person who's a family whose annual income is 21,000 cannot stay in Mumbai. Then that should be increased. And then they have 100 reasons to say no. So they should try to see that it reaches maximum people or needy people. So that should be the approach.
Okay, I'll come back to you in terms of specific suggestion, and thank you. And what you rightly said, the numbers which you're talking about is very dismal. Even on my code, the BPL, in terms of the BPL population, when the government looks at healthcare, for a yellow card, it's income below 85,000. And for an orange card, it is income below 1,85,000.
Yeah.
But I don't know where these numbers, which are so dismal numbers, as you said, has come up. And it's very, very sad. And especially, as you said, with the longevity going up, the age group, how can they survive? The cost of medicines going up, the inflation cost. Today, with all this happening with the Ukraine-Russia war, etc., supply chain, the cost of fuel has gone up, gas has gone up, electricity. So it's getting very expensive. And I'll come back to that point, which is probably biting the senior citizen. To Mr. Kalyanpur, who has worked in the corporate sector for 40 years, after your retirement, and you're conducting training program, life skills and entrepreneurship development. For you, Mr. Kalyanpur, I would want to ask a question. What are senior wants specific to when you say life skills? So what is a life skill and entrepreneurship development would you like to give guidance for? Mr. Kalyanpur. Amruta, is he there?
He's there, but Mr. Kalyanpur is muted.
He's
Is what?
there.
Yeah, I
He's
think he's
trying
there.
to talk. Yeah. कल्याणपूर तुमचं ऑडिओ कनेक्ट नाही होत आहे.
Okay, before he comes in, then I'll go down to Madhav Purohit when
Yes.
he comes back, who's the founder and secretary of Arya Chanakya Nagar Senior Citizens Association, Kandivali East. He's done diploma in gerontology after he finished his retirement from TISS. So a similar question to you, because as the panel is, what do senior citizens want? So according to you, Mr. Purohit, what are the wants of senior citizens?
See, wants of senior citizens are changing. The wants that were there earlier 50 years back. And if we try to consider it today, a lot of changes have occurred. Earlier, their needs were minimum, but now with time, these needs are increasing and we are not able to cope up with those needs. We are not able to attend to their problems, and that's why the condition of seniors is really becoming miserable, particularly if they belong to BPL or APL category. In other cases, the senior citizens are now middle and upper income groups. They are educated. They have professional and educational skills, looking for opportunities for a more active and creative, satisfying life. Now even today, we are not able to provide them these facilities so that they can use their time for creative activities. They can use for satisfying life in our in the country as a whole. I feel some arrangement need to be made for this class of people who are highly qualified, well educated, they have got income, and they do not just want to while away their time. The long retirement life that they are getting should not be uh, misused or should not be remain idle. Their intelligence, their capacity, ability should be used so that other senior citizens also can get some benefit of their intelligence.
Okay, thank you for your comment. I'll get back
May
to
I
you.
say something?
Has Mr. Kalyanpur come back?
May I say something? If I'm audible?
Yeah.
Am I
Kalyanpur
audible
ji,
now? I don't know.
question was,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this on the wants of senior citizens, as you have been
Hey,
in
we are
training
audible. Yeah.
development,
Yeah.
what
yeah.
is your
see-
viewpoint on the from a skilling and entrepreneurship point of view?
Yeah. You see, let me tell you that there are lots of people, who by the age of 60 would have gained a lot of knowledge, and they have experience and also what we call wisdom, And I think, it's, what they should do is use it for the good of people, and I mean, there are many of them who don't plan the time after retirement. What am I going to do after retirement? I come across a lot of people, who are 1 year away, 2 years away from retirement. If I ask them what are their plans, they have made no plans. And I feel that, hello,
Yeah, you are audible, sir. Yes.
Okay. And many of them, they have made no plans. And then, what they do is they just feel they should, live, stay in the armchair the whole day and, spend time on WhatsApp or, watch movies. But I think they can put their time to more productive use. And I think one way they can do that is volunteering. There is tremendous scope for volunteering. And there are a lot of benefits also, in the sense, it helps you, to learn new skills. Meeting new people can also help, because you feel more connected and valued. And let me tell you, the real India lives in the villages. And so if you're going to be in the social sector, then I say that it has a lot to offer everybody. And if you see, everybody may not have been a trainer. I was also not a trainer. I had to, acquire the skills of a trainer. I went through training programs. I was fortunate that, I was trained by some international agencies. But then I said, okay, having got myself trained, let me go into the social sector and, deliver these programs. And let me tell you, that has taken me, I started with the corporate people, and then I was doing it for underprivileged youth, and I doing it for, in small towns and even Naxal infested areas, prisoners, human traffic survivors. This has been an experience of a lifetime for me. I think, it's you can make your life purposeful, in a way that, there's no greater sense of satisfaction than, working for such people. And I tell you, opportunities are plenty. I will not accept if somebody says, where do I go from here? How can you, are there any agencies? Yes, you have to look for them. There are websites available. And if you have these three things, as I said, knowledge, experience and wisdom, I think you can retrain yourself and get started as a trainer. Yeah, that is one thing. And also, it's not that everybody has the requisite skills for any kind of job in the social sector. You've got to retrain yourself. And I think there are opportunities galore.
So, Kalyanpurji, I think, one keyword, and thank you for sharing, I picked up was having a life of purpose. So I think,
exactly.
and now they call it, there is a Japanese term where books have been written called ikigai. So there was also a study done in the blue zone, as you must have read, that there are octogenarians who are living 80s and 90s and they're very healthy. And one of the reasons besides the diet and lifestyle was they had a purpose in life. So I think you are itself an example which you're saying that you reskilled yourself, you took training, etc., put in that extra effort instead of just watching probably Netflix or something on television, which is nothing wrong with doing that in your leisure time, but that should not be the whole purpose. So
Yeah.
the purpose in life has to be there. And you mentioned another point of volunteering.
Yeah.
I have seen, because I run an NGO myself and we help people in healthcare needs in Kalyan. We have a center. So there are older people, when they come to volunteer, I've seen they find, and that is for all of us, our problems are much smaller than the other people's problems. It also puts a perspective. It also gives you a sense of happiness that you are giving back, positivity, vibration, etc., etc.
To
So
society. Yeah.
I think those are points, and I'll again come back to you. Going back to Mr. Dikolkar,
Yeah.
is what you mentioned earlier about the thing. But if you want to, suppose you had a wish list and somebody in the government is listening to you, could you state 5 or 6 points, which, let's say, if you had to put a petition or a request letter, what would that be to make their lives easier or better?
For senior citizens. Yeah,
Yes,
of course. See,
that's the subject.
yeah. See, uh, senior citizens need a company. So there should be recreation centers where they can uh, they can come together and meet people of their age. In most of the cases, in family, mostly there are in many cases they are unwanted, and that when that feeling comes to a senior citizen, he may go in depression. So government should introduce more and more recreation centers for senior citizens where they all can come together and meet people of their age. Okay. And what was the next one you said?
So I was saying, just couple of pointers, like you said, place. What else would you request if you had a choice to request the solutions for making it for senior citizens? What is your, suppose you had a request to make and somebody is listening to you. What your suggestion would be?
I would say they should get a respectful life, because mostly they are see now, even in the corona, there were all restrictions on senior citizens. They were not able to move anywhere, and then many people have gone in depression, because especially those who stay alone. Suppose one of the life partner has left, then their condition was very bad. So I would say government should try to see that senior citizens are not neglected. Means they are given adequate attention.
Okay, got it. I'll come back to you. Thank you for sharing. Mr. Purohit Madhavji, again, back to you. We mentioned the wants, but how can we bring about a change in seniors' lives with your experience? And again, I'm talking from a practical standpoint.
I would like to say that I would like to refer to Indian tradition. जवानी में हमने पढ़ाई की, बाद में फैमिली परिवार के लिए हमने नौकरी की या प्रोफेशन किया. अब ये जो समय है रिटायरमेंट के बाद का, that is meant for social work, not for our family or for ourselves. It should be used for समाज के लिए यूज करना होना है. So they should be given an opportunity to work in social work, so that the country also will be benefited, and the knowledge of these people which is not being used will be properly used, not only for social work but even for senior citizens. Senior citizens also will be benefited. They will get some work and they will feel happy in doing something which otherwise they are not getting opportunity to do. I strongly feel that intelligentsia in the senior citizens should be used for this kind of activities, because Other things government is taking care of. Even NGOs are trying to do so many things. But this aspect has not been touched. So for intelligent class, whatever social works are there, what are the government projects that need to be taken to people, these seniors can take up. And that will be more beneficial. That is what I think.
Any other? Yeah, so definitely they have to, again, as we said, purpose of living and, what is the thing, the meaning. So for those senior citizens, and I also feel once they occupy themselves, then because the main conflict in the family starts is when one starts interfering with the kids or the, others. And everybody is now busy, as I've seen, husband, wife are busy working, children are going to school, etc. So for a senior citizen to, according to me, to get that respect, he has to make his life meaningful, as we are all saying, find a, and now 60 is the new 40s, according to me, the way it is, and maybe
Yeah.
80s are the next 60s. And so the time can be used, we can find more meaning, there are more professionalism coming up, there are virtual classes available, there are virtual programs available. You can volunteer in a hospital, you can volunteer in Rotary Club, Lions Club,
Correct.
you can become volunteer for organizations like Graceful Living. करने के लिए बहुत कुछ है, अगर हम करना चाहे तो बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं, मगर उसमें इच्छा होनी चाहिए. एंड जैसे हम पहले भी मेंशन कर रहे थे, जितना आप ज्यादा करोगे उतना खुद एनर्जी आएगा, वो एनर्जी से यू विल फील बेटर. फिजिकल एक्टिविटी होने से, of course, then we are saying keep healthy in various options, etc. So that's my point. And Kalyanpur again, Kalyanpur again from a, so let's say if you had how do you,
Sakshi, can you mute
what
everyone?
kind of training
I'm
skills
sorry,
are
there is some,
available now?
Can you mute everyone?
Amruta, you-
no, there are some external sounds and I'm not able to hear.
Sakshi, can you mute everyone, please?
can you hear me now, Kalyan? Okay, so my question was, Kalyanpur, is what do you further suggest from a practical standpoint which senior citizen can adapt?
Yes, sir, you are on mute. Mr. Kalyanpur, you are on mute.
Okay. Sorry, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
You see, as I said, if senior citizens can make their life more purposeful, if they, develop, cultivate curiosity, and as I said, also develop some skills, and as this gentleman just as you just mentioned, that well, there are opportunities galore. I mean, you don't expect that somebody should come to you, knock on your door, and say, we heard you're retired. Are you able to do something for our organization? No, I think there are plenty of NGOs who need people, with knowledge and experience. You can reach out to them. That is how I managed it. At the age of 60, I said, I'm going to do something for the social sector. I got an opportunity, and there has been no looking back ever since. And I think also you can always redevelop skills at any age, I think, unless, of course, there are people who may suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's. That, of course, is a different category by itself. But otherwise, I feel, I mean, if you're healthy, and if you keep your, I mean, if you keep yourself occupied, I think you'll always be, you're also not only, there is some sense of purpose in one's living, but you're also contributing to the society at large. And I think a senior citizen should cultivate some curiosity and what skills can I develop, and then also have an important daily routine, for say meditation, yoga, hobbies. Hobbies can be developed, such as music, writing. I mean, you can keep yourself busy in so many different ways. And then there are some, who would believe in writing, and you can learn new things also. And I mean, seniors who have a sense of purpose enjoy life and stay healthy. And being needed in itself is a sense of purpose. Let me tell you, everybody should feel that you're needed. Yeah, that's how you should be working. And I mean, I'm so happy that even today I'm doing training programs for 3 hours almost every day. And there's no looking back for me. I get programs, I'm happy. And then in the come evenings, we go to the senior citizens home, just about 5 minutes walking distance from here, and we chat with those senior citizens. They are also happy when we go there to cheer them up, because most of them have their children abroad. And then what we have done is we have started music for them, and they start to sing bhajans, and they're all so engrossed. And there are people who learned the tabla so many years back, and who I thought of all forgotten it. Now they're back to the tabla. There are ladies who can sing the entire songs. I mean, there are so many things to do. I mean, I can't. Okay, there. And let me also tell you that not all NGOs will say you work for free. There are some who also pay. Yeah, I started as a volunteer, and then I was getting a regular salary. Yeah, I was the head of department in an NGO, and I was handsomely paid, because they were happy, I mean, with me, and I knew I could deliver. So I mean, you have to of course work towards it, and there is nothing like it. Once you get some work to do, work for the people at large, you'll enjoy it. Yeah.
So thank you again, and I think those are very positive words. Back to Dikolkar ji, is what should be the role again? You mentioned about, we're talking about how should one treat the underprivileged senior. So there are two categories, correct? Those who can afford, those who take home health at home, they have support system, they have money available, their children are studying abroad or whatever and well settled. What should one do towards the underprivileged? Mr. Narendra, sorry, this is for Dicholkar.
Sir, you are on mute, Mr. Ditsolkar.
As I said earlier, out of 14 crore senior citizens in India, only 9% people get pension. But most of the people, they get substantial amount of pension. At the same time, there are people who don't get a single pie. And so what I say, those who get fabulous pension should support other people. They can adopt senior citizens who don't get at all. That is what I am doing. In
Very good.
Corona time, I paid fees of many children and all. That should be the attitude. See, God is giving us, that is for distributing. You should not keep it with yourself. And after your death, what are you going to do with that? So we all the time we should not depend on government has restrictions, and so many people they cannot. But we ourselves, we 9% senior citizens can support all the, if we contribute 10% of our pension, we can support so many people. That should be the attitude of senior citizens who are paid pension.
So
Very
Madhav ji, thank you. Madhav Puroj ji, back to you. Any comments on the other two speakers, what they mentioned? And if you have any other questions from the audience or whatever else it is, because according to me, like the way I'm looking at it is that of all what we are saying is senior citizens should live a meaningful life. They should not feel, a senior citizen ho gaya, to kya ho gaya? Life begins, as I mentioned, at 60 or 70. It's how you think yourself, positivity, other things goes hand in hand. And you have to make yourself relevant in today's life. अगर आप ही सोचोगे और बेचारापन फील करोगे तो कोई केयर नहीं करता आज की दुनिया में. सब लोग बोलेंगे तो जैसा मैंने देखा है कि हम जो मेडिकल सेवा करते हैं कल्याण में, तो देयर आर people who bring their parents and others for cataract operation otherwise. So when the youngsters also feel अरे हमको burden है, then their attitude changes. So as senior citizens, the approach should be हमें burden नहीं होना है किसको. Let us be independent. Let us do whatever else it is. Even income generation is possible. आजकल virtually कितने courses हो रहे हैं. You can be a trainer, like our Kalyanpur is a trainer. So many people can become trainers. If you are a painter, artist, you can conduct classes. Nowadays, so many revenue streams. और आपको घर से निकलने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो माधव जी, what is your thought on that? And over to you.
सर, मैं बीपीएल एपीएल छोड़ के जो बाकी का सीनियर सिटीजन है उनके बारे में एक तो बात करना चाहूँ, या पहले भी कर रहा था. गवर्नमेंट ने अभी जो एडर लाइन चालू की है वो सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है. उनकी जो भी समस्या है, जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन वो चाहते हैं, जो भी गाइडेंस उनको चाहिए, वो सब अवेलेबल ऑन ए टिप ऑफ अपने मोबाइल पे मिल सकता है. और इससे काफी जो उनकी वांट्स है वो अटेंड की जा रही है. एडर लाइन का वर्किंग परफॉर्मेंस देखा है एंड इट्स रियली वेरी सेटिस्फाइंग कि जिसके जरिए सीनियर सिटीजन्स certainly can feel happy.
Yeah, but any other thoughts on that?
नहीं, that should be, ये एडर लाइन सब तक स्प्रेड नहीं. That has to be brought to the notice of the people. There is no advertisement in the paper. Even the senior citizen who are working for seniors do not know about this line. If they know, or if they spread the message, certainly the seniors can make use of this line and can get any information. They need not come to senior citizen association at all. If they want to know the old age home, if they want the address of their hospital, if they want some consolation, everything is available in this line. And that's really, when I personally attended it, it's really a good boom for senior citizens, I would say.
Fair point. So, Amrita, I think each one of the panelists have shared any other points you have. And I think what Madhavji mentioned was, how can, as Graceful Living, we highlight the role and communicate the role of this helpline and share with more and more people. I'll give you an example. Aaj kya hua? Somebody called me and said कि उसका बच्चा, I can't give the name, he's just 20 years old, but he's young and he's becoming very boisterous and violent with the father. Okay. So the father was asking me, what is the options I have? Because, so I told him there are so many rights as a senior citizen you have. Even your own son is harassing you. Of course, you don't want to go to the police or something. And you first request him to calm down. But there are laws which the other panel discussion which you had in the past, we should be aware of. But हम वो condition में डाले ही नहीं अपने आप को कि लोग समझे कि, back to the same question, we are a burden on them and on the family. Because the young generation today is changing. Husband wife बच्चे भी काम पे जा रहे हैं, उनका भी pressure हो गया है, competition हो गया है. Post COVID, many people have lost jobs. जो लोग बाहर जाते थे, बहुत लोग अभी घर पे हैं. एक बार बाहर जाते हैं लोग, फिर pressure कम होता है, tension कम होता है. Each one coming in smaller houses, more people, bound to have conflicts. So I think role is senior citizens अपने आप को, अभी तो थोड़ा COVID का काफी कम हो गया है, start activating, going down, going to all your nana nani parks, make it more relevant. And main is, like in the past we have seen Atmanirbhar, how we have to be independent on our own, don't depend. It's no entitlement, and live life with dignity, and as our name only says, graceful. So Amrita, with that, I think the panelists and I am done with the questions. And if there are any more answers the panelists needs to give, they can share. Otherwise, Amrita, if you have anything else to add, or if the audience has any question, we'll be happy to take that.
The panelists have made.
Can't hear you, Amrita.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Amrita, can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now better.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, okay. So I think the panelists have made very relevant points. और जो graceful living पहले से बोलते आ रहा है कि मतलब वृद्धों को एक्टिव होना चाहिए, there has to be some meaning in life. तो वो मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं सब पैनलिस्ट ने ये रीइंफोर्स किया है. सो आई एम वेरी ग्लैड अबाउट दैट. एंड परसों एक हम लोग वही कांदिवली में हमारी मीटिंग थी, तो तभी हम लोग सीनियर्स को भी यही बोल रहे थे कि ये जो है, वन ऑफ द पैनलिस्ट मेंशन्ड कि ये कॉन्स्टेंटली खुद को अप टू डेट रखना विथ वॉट एवर इज हैपनिंग इन सोसाइटी, बीइंग मतलब अब्रेस्ट ऑफ वॉट एवर इज हैपनिंग. I think that is also very necessary. तो ये जनरली थोड़ा बहुत इनिशिएटिव मुझे लगता है सीनियर्स को भी लेना पड़ेगा। तो ये मुझे ये नहीं आता है, मैं ये नहीं कर सकता हूँ। सो वी आर नॉट सेइंग के हम लोगों को मतलब जैसे यंगस्टर्स हैं वो उनके जैसे हम लोग एक्सपर्ट बनना चाहिए। बट आई थिंक कि थोड़ा बहुत अगर क्यूरोसिटी हो, एज मिस्टर कल्याणपुर सेड, क्यूरोसिटी हो और थोड़ा बहुत रेलेवेंट रहे विद टुडेज टाइम्स, आई थिंक इट विल हेल्प। खुद को भी खुद के लिए भी अच्छा रहेगा, और जो यंगर जनरेशन है उनके साथ थोड़ा सा कम्युनिकेशन जो गैप है वो कम होने के लिए भी थोड़ी।
That's a good point.
आई
Can't hear
थिंक
you.
मिस्टर, या कैन यू हियर मी नाउ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
या तो मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा बहुत सीनियर सिटीजन्स जो हम लोग कहते हैं, एज मिस्टर डिचोलकर वाज आल्सो सेइंग कि बीपीएल के इश्यूज जो हैं उनके इश्यूज तो अलग ही है। बट मुझे लगता है कि जो एजुकेटेड सीनियर सिटीजन्स हैं, जैसे मिस्टर पुरोहित कह रहे थे कि
Amrita, we are losing you.
इंटेलिजेंट सीनियर सिटीजन्स है, तो
Hello.
वो लोग भी थोड़ा सा सोच विचार करके अगर वो कर सकते हैं। या इज इट बेटर नाउ?
Yeah.
इज इट बेटर नाउ?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
हाँ,
We
तो आई
can hear
थिंक
you.
सम, हाँ तो ये मतलब मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा बहुत जो इनिशिएटिव है वो सीनियर सिटीजन्स ने भी लेना चाहिए। और अभी रिसेंटली मुझे लगता है कि गवर्नमेंट ने सेक्रेड करके एक, इट्स लाइक एन एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज, तो वो भी
Yeah.
गवर्नमेंट ने शुरू किया है। तो जहाँ पे आपके जो क्या आपका जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सपीरियंस है उसके बारे में भी आप वहाँ पे ये करके यू आर एबल टू फाइंड सम अपॉर्चुनिटीज। तो ये सब अपॉर्चुनिटीज कभी मिलेंगे जब हम लोग थोड़ा बहुत ढूंढने की भी कोशिश करेंगे। तो मुझे लगता है कि सीनियर्स ने भी थोड़ा बहुत इनिशिएटिव लेके थोड़ा प्रोएक्टिव होने की जरूरत है। तो दैट इज समथिंग दैट आई फील सिंसियरली नीड्स टू बी डन, एंड कीपिंग वन सेल्फ अपडेटेड। क्योंकि कॉन्स्टेंटली यंगर जनरेशन को बोलना कि ये नहीं करते हैं, कॉन्स्टेंटली एक्सपेक्टेशंस भी रखना, तो ये एक थोड़े मतलब सम एक्सटेंट इट इज ओके, but I think some initiative also has to be taken from their side if we feel that their social status has to be enhanced in some way, ऐसा मुझे लगता है।
Correct.
I think with that, I
Right,
think that's a very important point of view. And with that, Amrita, we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah, okay. If no one has anything else to say, I think we can wrap it up.
Okay, once again, thank you very much for everybody. And we will again probably last week of next month have a panel. Amrita, you set it up. I'll discuss with you offline what subjects if you want. We can talk about various panelists also. And we'll have it, and so that we can keep this going and encourage more people to participate and spread the message and try to bring help in whichever way we can.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.